Hey guys, this is Prasad, and today I'm going to be reviewing the iPad Air, which just came out last week. Right now, I'm finding this to be a great iPad, and it has a lot of improvements compared to previous generations. One of the improvements it has is that it has stereo speakers down below here, rather than the mono speakers of the previous generation. The iPad has 1 gigabyte of RAM, just like the iPad 4th Gen. It also has an A7 processor, which was just released with the iPhone 5S, and it is running at 1.4 gigahertz, and it is a dual-core processor. It also has an M7 coprocessor in this, and the model I have right here is a 32 gigabyte Ryzen LTE model. So it has the LTE radios built in, and so far, from what I've noticed, battery life is fantastic on this. And with the newer processor and higher clock speed, I was expecting lower battery life, but I was pleasantly surprised when I found out this tablet went above and beyond the previous generations. It also has a 1.2 megapixel front-facing camera over here with 720p HD video, and on the back, it has a 5 megapixel shooter right at the top over here. It has Wi-Fi 802.11 BGNN. It does not have AC, which I was somewhat disappointed with. I was hoping that this generation would finally have AC, considering most Android phones and Android tablets are starting to roll out with AC. On this side of the iPad over here, it has the usual rotation lock key and the volume rockers. At the bottom again, it has the new lightning connector, and up on the top, it has its power connector just like every other iPad, and there's also a microphone jack. So that was just a simple hardware tour of the new iPad Air. Okay guys, now let's take a look at the App Store, which I find is vastly improved in iOS 7 compared to previous generations of iOS. And I just find this version of the App Store to be much more usable in that it crashes less frequently. As well as stuff just happens much quicker. For example, this magazine over here, I can just click it and it opens instantly. Before, a lot of times there was a bit of loading and other errors that were going on with this, and I'm just happy that they resolved this with iOS 7. It just makes it a much smoother experience throughout the whole system. If you just go in the top charts, you can see the top games and other applications that there are. And there are quite a few, and as most of us already know, iOS probably has the best app store out there. It has the most apps and probably the most quality apps for tablets. Android tablets are starting to catch up, but they're still nowhere close to the amount of quality apps that are on the iPad. With Apple's closed ecosystem, everything's just way more optimized and runs smoothly on this tablet interface. One of the new things that come with all iPad Airs is iWork, which is a new productivity suite by Apple, and it makes the iPad much more usable in productivity situations. For example, you can make presentations, charts, and other graphical informational things, which are pretty useful, and makes the iPad much better for work, as it states in the name. Hey guys, now I'm just going to give you a basic walkthrough of iOS 7, which I find which has recently just had a huge facelift, which has vastly improved it compared to iOS 6. It's had a whole bunch of translucency added to it, and it makes the whole OS look completely different, even though that there aren't that many new features here. One of the new things they've added is if you swipe up from the bottom, they give you a control center, and in the control center, there are toggles for airplane mode, Wi-Fi, Bluetooth, nighttime mode, and silent mode. There are also ways where you can, as you can see over here, there's a play next track button, so you can play your music from there. There's the volume controls over there, and there's also the brightness. Along with that, there's also an AirDrop key, and there's a photo button over here. So that makes it really useful and makes it easy to change settings without actually going into the settings. Another thing they've changed is that the notification bar now is translucent, and it gives a nice effect. Before, that whole texture they had, in my opinion, was disgusting, and it just didn't fit, in my opinion. It looked really odd, and I'm happy they got rid of it. The new notifications are vastly improved, and now they have 3 tabs up here: the Today tab, the All tab, and the Miss tab, which give you 3 different sets of notifications. You can also have your widgets just like you could in iOS 6. And the whole UI has slightly been changed. For example, if you take the iPad and tilt it, the icons kind of move. And if you now hold, you'll get Siri, and Siri looks vastly different compared to previous iterations of iOS. If you double tap over here, you'll get the multitasking, which has also seen a vast upgrade. Now there are these, it's a carousel of tiles pretty much, and the tiles show you what's going on in that app when you close out of it. For example, the Safari tab, let's go on to that. And it just instantly opens, and when you open it, you're right at whatever you were looking at before. Now let's exit out of this. Let's go back into the multitasking, and let's go back to the App Store. Now, as you can see, it switched to the App Store instantaneously, and we can just start downloading apps. So those are a few of the neat things they've done with iOS 7. As you saw, when I closed that application, it had this another nice animation, and they pretty much added that across the board throughout the whole OS. So it feels a lot different compared to iOS 6. But again, as I said before, there aren't that many new features in this iteration of iOS. Okay guys, let's talk about some of the apps with iOS 7. And Apple has completely redesigned most of its stock apps that have come with the iPad. For example, the calendar app is a lot nicer now. It's smoother as well in my opinion. And it's just more functional. It's way more modern than it was in previous iterations of iOS. And I like it a lot more. Let's go to the clock, which has also changed slightly. It's also been cleaned out a bit, and the color schemes have been changed. Then on to photos. The way photos are displayed has also been changed compared to how it was previously. Now it goes on by date. And again, it has that same white background with the pictures. It just flows throughout the whole OS. Even though they've revamped a lot of the apps, some old apps such as iBooks still hasn't been changed. It still has that faux wood effect, and I really don't like that. And it just decided to start doing things on its own. So this app, in my opinion, really needs a facelift. Needs to be changed. I don't like any of that. I don't like the background or anything, and I think that should go. Now let's talk about the gaming performance of this tablet. With the new A7, there's also a new GPU, and it's vastly improved compared to the previous generation. Let's go on to play something like Asphalt 8, which is one of the games that has been optimized for this processor. Now this game looks really nice and works really smoothly. There's occasional frame rate dips, but that's seen across the board with all the iPads and as well as Android tablets. So it's probably possible that it's just a software glitch or something like that. Probably not to do with the iPad itself. I'm just gonna warn you guys before the end of this game. If you guys say like it doesn't look that good, the display looks fantastic over here. It's just that the camera doesn't do justice to it. So I apologize for that, but that's the way cameras are. Ah, there, I crashed, but as you can see, it was a nice animation for me crashing. Let's see if we can catch up, which I highly doubt. Oh, and that was a nice flip over there. Let's activate nitrous. We actually might just be able to catch up to these guys. Oh, better not crash into that truck. And these are some of the new effects with Asphalt 8. For example, the avalanche. It's a nice effect. And there, because of the avalanche, we've been able to catch up. Oh, that was a close one. And there, we wrecked that car quite nicely. Let's pick up some more nitrous. Oh god. Not bad, we started off at the bottom of the pack and now we're up to third. So as you saw, that game ran really well on this tablet. Now let's move on to Infinity Blade, one of the apps which was proclaimed to be specifically optimized for this processor. This is just an intro cutscene as we're entering the new level. And let's just fast forward through this. And here's the enemy. Now, I haven't played this game much, so cut me some slack on that. But I can say that the visuals are absolutely gorgeous. Ooh, missed that. Yes. There we go. And there we go. We're taking him down. Oh, he's coming back for more. Oh. And there we have it. I think this guy's defeated. Oh, maybe not. And there we go, victory. Finally, that guy is dead. To be honest, he never stood a chance, so don't worry. So as you can see, that game had pretty much no lag whatsoever, and it looked really good. And that's pretty much what I can say about the performance of the iPad Air as a whole. It's smooth in general, and there are rarely moments of lag. And when there are, it's not that bad. It doesn't really hamper you from doing what you want to do. So it's a reliable tablet, and I definitely recommend it to anyone who wants to buy it. If you're upgrading from an iPad 3rd gen, I'd still recommend this. The display is slightly better because the glass is thinner. So the viewing angles are also better. The processor improvements by themselves are well worth the upgrade. If you're coming from anything below the 3rd gen, I'd definitely say if you want another iPad, now is probably the time to get one, because there are not many things that this thing fails to do. And anything that it does exceptionally fast. So if you're going to buy a tablet, I'd go with this one.